These are a few of my favorite books. I really love books. After much deliberation, and trust me, it was a very difficult decision, I've decided to talk about 8 of my all-time favorite books today. Mostly non-fiction, there's a real mixture of self-development and spiritual books, and even one that's a little more political. Right now, at least, at the start of 2021, these are some of my all-time faves. And today I'm going to tell you why I love them so much, and give you an idea about each of them, so you can determine whether you want to read them too. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're just meeting me for the first time, hi, my name is Ebony, and this channel is here to help you reconnect to your intuition so that you can manifest in the real world. If you're interested in all things self-development, mindset, and spirituality, I hope that you'll enjoy today's video and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Today I want to share with you books that have impacted my life greatly for the better. Every one of these books I could read again and again and only ever learn more from them. Often you see certain YouTubers proclaiming that certain books have completely changed their life. I would agree without exaggeration that all of these books today really did change my life, but I would never presume that any of them could have the same effect on you. Though they might, you never know. You could read or hear the same message over and over again, told from a variety of sources. Yet suddenly when you read or hear it in a specific way from a specific person at a specific time and place, that same message will suddenly click for you. You could read all the books that I'm going to share with you today and they won't impact you the same way they did for me. We all bring our own perspectives and set of beliefs, which will determine the result of anything we read, see, or hear in our lives. So what I'm saying is, don't feel the need to rush out and buy any of these books simply because I recommend that you read them. If any of them resonate with you, that's absolutely wonderful. And I definitely encourage you to follow that curiosity. All of the books will be listed down below in the description, but don't cheat and look now. Please watch all the way through to learn more about each of the books. I'll do my best to keep my summaries and opinions on each of them short and sweet. Please note that any Amazon links will be affiliate links, meaning that I receive a percentage from any sales made via those links, which really helps me out at no extra cost to you. So thank you in advance to anyone who uses the affiliate links to support this channel. Though I definitely recommend, first and foremost, for any purchases that you make, please look secondhand first. And if you have to buy new, choose to shop locally. I believe that any of these books that I'll talk about today should be easily found at your local bookshop. And if they don't have them in stock, they should be able to order them in for you. If you'd like any more information on these books, I'll include a more in-depth, though still quite short, review of each of them on today's blog post linked in the description below. Every video I post on this channel has a blog post that goes with it, with resources and recommendations, and often extra information as well, sometimes even free PDF downloads. So I'd absolutely love to see you over on the blog as well if you're curious. Alrighty, all that said and done, let's talk about a few of my favorite books, in no particular order. I could not for the life of me pick an all-time favorite ever. It was hard enough just to narrow it down to these. It's definitely going to be hard to keep this as short as possible, but I'll do my best. For those who don't know, I used to work in a bookshop actually, so making this video is very much taking me back to those days, making recommendations to customers. So on that note, if you are torn between any of these books, or you're on the hunt for a book on a particular subject, let me know in the comments down below or message me on Instagram at Ebony Highland, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. I love it so much, not gonna lie. Okie dokie, get yourself a cuppa and let's talk about these awesome books. Woo! The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. I decided to start with The Untethered Soul because it had such a massive impact on me when I first read it a few years ago. I remember never wanting to put it down. Michael A. Singer explains how to free yourself from habitual thoughts, emotions, and energy patterns that limit your consciousness. He writes about consciousness and ego, sharing how it can be possible to break free from limitations. Honestly, I don't even know how to begin to describe this book. I think you just have to read it for yourself to understand what I mean. I really want to reread this at some point this year as well. As Deepak Chopra states on the front cover, read this book carefully and you will get more than a glimpse of eternity. Well said, Chopra, well said. Absolutely beautiful. The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I don't actually have a physical copy anymore. I passed it on before going overseas. So this one I have as an ebook. So you can see it here. That's the cover. I seriously adore this book. I've read it cover to cover twice at least that I can think of. I feel like maybe 3 times because I've flicked through it and picked it up and put it down again so many times as well. Every single time I pick it up though, it feels like I'm connecting with an old, very wise friend. So Don Miguel shares 4 agreements that we can make with ourselves, believing that if we choose to follow them, we will improve our lives immensely. It may sound simple on a surface level, but there is so much to be gained from following his advice. I always think that if everyone in the world was to live by these 4 agreements, the world would be a much happier place. I recently also found this bookmark online. I'll link it down below. It's a 4 agreements bookmark. How cool. Isn't that pretty? And then it's got like a bit of a spiel on the back explaining what each of the agreements are. If it wants to focus. Yeah. Isn't it cool? And I like the little dangly thing. Whee! Yeah. I'll link that down below for anyone curious about that as well. The next book I want to talk about is also on my e-reader, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I also had a copy of this that I passed on to a friend before going overseas. And again, I'd love to get a physical copy again, but the e-reader works. I've brought this book so many times for friends as well. It is just one of those books that I think should be read by pretty much anyone, to be honest, even if you're not creative per se. Elizabeth Gilbert in Big Magic tells you straight up how it is to live a creative life. With her wit and humor, she encourages, motivates, and oftentimes pushes you towards living a creative life. Thinking about it now, I really want to reread this year as well. Gilbert talks about inspiration, how to embrace your curiosity, and how to move beyond fear. I love her way of talking about fear. It's really, really good. She shares the attitudes, approaches, and habits that can help us to live creatively. Big Magic is packed with pragmatic, down-to-earth advice for anyone, whether you consider yourself a creative person or not, with a little spirituality sprinkled on top. Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given. Another funny at times book that also packs a punch is Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given. I felt seen by this book. I found myself throughout nodding, eyes wide, sometimes thinking hell yes, sometimes wanting to take up boxing to unleash the pent-up anger and frustration I feel when I think about the injustice and craziness of this world, which this book really highlights well. As pretty as it may seem, there is no sugar on top to sweeten the blow. There's no glossing over the reality that we, especially as women, face in this day and age, and the system that we need to overturn to make this world a better place for absolutely everyone. Long story short, I can't recommend this book enough. For everyone, not just women, everyone. No matter how uncomfortable parts of this book may make you feel, it's an education that everyone needs. It's really, really good. And it does make you laugh at times too. And it's just so relatable. Like, I think that's the main thing. It's like like I said, I felt seen by this book. I can't even. I could go on and on and on. I'll have a little more information, like I said, on the blog post about each of these books, and this one kind of needs its own review, to be honest. And also the illustrations and like the print, everything about this book is so cool. Like, look at that, that's the inside cover. Not to give too much away because you should experience it for yourself, but like she's an illustrator as well, and it's got this like art through it. Oh, it's so cool. It's just so cool. It's all color printed all the way through. It's really beautifully done. So just from an aesthetic point of view, the 70s vibes, like I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love it. Anyway, yeah. Oh my God. It's so hard to just talk briefly about these books. Anyways, we're trying. We're trying to keep this short and sweet. The next book is, drumroll, Atomic Habits. I actually listened to this book on Audible and then decided to buy the physical copy. My dad's reading it currently, actually, because I like to be able to flick through books. There's just nothing quite like it. I feel like there's been a lot of hype around this book, a lot of people recommending it, and for good reason, in my opinion at least. I feel like Atomic Habits really did live up to the hype. This is such a helpful and insightful book. If you want practical advice that will help you to start new habits and break bad ones, and ultimately greatly improve your life in a lasting way, this is the book for you. Like I said, my dad's reading it currently and he's enjoying it too. So I think this one has a very wide audience as well. A lot of people are really raving about this, and you know, it's not a spiritual book, it's very practical. Also, the website that James Clear has for this book has lots of resources too, and he goes into different studies and things. It's really interesting, it's a really fascinating read, and I definitely recommend it, or it wouldn't have made this list. The next book is Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. I also listened to this on Audible, then decided to buy the book. This is the kind of book that you could open it to any page and find inspiration there. I feel like this is a great spiritual book to anyone new to these ideas. Shetty often intertwines pop culture references into his explanations, and he has a great knack for taking these ancient spiritual concepts and bringing them into a modern, practical context that can be applied to enrich your life. It's well written and flows beautifully too. There is also so much value in the exercises he shares, and so many lessons that we can learn from the ancient texts that he draws his inspiration from. So that is Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. It's a good read, and like I said, a good one to share with someone who is very new to spirituality but wants to, dip the toe in the waters. It's a very good book for that. A lot of the ideas didn't come as a surprise to me, but he explained them very well. And I like that he constantly refers to these beautiful ancient texts that, if you try to read them on your own, it's very hard to read them and get this much value from them. So he translates it very well. The next book is Siddhartha, if I say that right, I'm sorry again if I say it wrong, by Hermann Hesse. So This isn't non-fiction like the other books I've talked about so far, but I have to mention it because I really enjoyed this book so much. It tells the story of a young boy who ventures through India on a spiritual journey. It is a beautiful tale of discovery that is also so beautifully written. It's only a short book and quite an easy read, though of course you can dig much deeper. And you will no doubt, like me, spend time pondering and learning from the lessons within its pages long after you've finished reading it. It's the kind of book that just sticks with you, or at least it did for me. I definitely recommend checking this one out. The next book I want to mention today is The Alchemist. No favourites list of mine could ever be complete without this book. Similar to Siddhartha, The Alchemist is a short novel about a shepherd boy named Santiago and the journey he takes to the Egyptian pyramids looking for treasure. Not to give you any spoilers, but he obviously discovers a lot along the way. Like all of these books, it's so well written and there are so many breathtakingly beautiful passages. I read The Alchemist for the first time many years ago, and I've read it at least twice since, kind of like the Four Agreements. I can't really remember exactly how many times I've read it. It's just such a good, comforting read anytime, really. While we were traveling, we actually found a copy in a book exchange at a hostel. And so I read it again and then passed it on to another traveler for them to enjoy it. My last copy here, I actually gave to a friend. So I just have it on my e-reader now in case I want to read it anytime soon. Which honestly, making this video makes me want to reread all of these books. Now, I know that is quite a lot of books, but I have to mention just a couple more. Can't stop, won't stop. I won't tell you anything about these ones. I'll simply just list them, but on today's blog, I'll write a little bit about each of these as well, so you can find out more there. But in an effort to keep this video as short and sweet as possible, that's what I'll have to do, I think. Or I'm gonna be here all day and so are you. All right, so these are a few other recommendations of books I've read recently on Audible. Everything is Figureoutable by Marie Forleo, Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein, and You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. These three books were just, I really enjoyed them, and I've just listened to them recently. I think I will do reviews on them in the future as well. If you want to know more about any of those, for now I'll just have a little spiel on each of them over on today's blog. Finally, last but not least, the final book I really want to mention, I've only just started reading, so I won't go into detail. It's Discover Your Dharma by Sahara Rose, the same author of A Yogic Path Oracle, one of my all-time favorite oracle decks. I am really enjoying this book so far, and so far I can recommend it, but until I finish it, I won't go into it too much. But just want to throw that in there because so far I'm really enjoying it. It has these exercises that, you know, questions to answer and things. It's really cool. I really enjoy it. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention it because why not? While I'm at it, you know. So now I'd love to know, what are your favorite books? Please do tell me in the comments below because I love books, if you haven't already figured that out. Do you have an all-time favorite? Or are you like me and couldn't possibly choose just one? Have you ever felt as though a book was life-changing for you? I'm curious. If you'd like to learn more about these beautiful books I talked about today, you can find out a little more about each of them, as I said, on today's blog post, which will be linked in the description below. Over on my blog as well, you can sign up for my newsletter that I send out every Monday morning as I share what I'm currently reading on it, if you're curious to stay updated. As always, please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or requests, or find me over on Instagram at Ebony Highland. I'd love to see you over there too. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure to ring the little bell to be notified when I post a new video every Thursday. Thank you so much for watching and supporting this channel. It really does mean the absolute world to me. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I can't wait to see you here again next week. Thank you so much. So much love. Bye. Yet suddenly when you read or hear it in a specific... I knew I was going to struggle with this specific thing. Ah. All right, let's do it. Or it wouldn't have made this list. Yeah, okay. Okay, next. I'm not sponsored by Audible, but they can sponsor me if they want to. just putting it out there, you know. Wouldn't say no. I love Audible. Every video I post on this channel has an accompanying blog post. Accompanying? Atomic Habits by James Clear. Should have done that for all. So you don't have to be a monk to benefit from the lessons of the monks. I think that was a bit convoluted. I got hot, so I took my jacket off, and then I recorded a whole bunch, and now I just realized that I did that. Whoopsie. So half this video is without my jumper. That's a good thumbnail, I think. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.